start, I realized that many people register for this webinar if they did not join. Now I'm sure that maybe with some delay they will join later. So I welcome you to the first monthly Policy Answer webinar, which is focused on aligning priorities in the Western Balkans with those of EU across three thematic areas: digital, green, and health. My name is Sanja Damjanovic, and today I will moderate this session. The Policy Answer project is an EU Horizon project, focuses on enhancing research and innovation policy and governance systems in the Western Balkans. Following the success of the Policy Dialogue Conference, which we organized last year in Sarajevo, and I assume that some of you attended this conference, these webinars aim to further promote essential policy instruments for alignment, such as European partnerships, missions, or, for example, a new instrument of specialization called Partnership for Regional Innovation and others. However, the first three webinars will focus on presentations by regional experts, providing an overview of the Western Balkan pathway to implement digital agenda, green agenda, and health policies. Our first webinar today is dedicated to the topic of digitalization, and it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Mrs. Bojana Bajic. Bojana is a specialist in digital transformation and public administration at RESPA, which is based in Montenegro. She was head of IT department within the Ministry of Finance of Montenegro, but Bojana has a very rich experience over 32 years working in different aspects of digitalization. Her presentation today will last 25 minutes. After that, we will have 10 minutes time for questions. I remind you that this webinar is recorded and you were notified when you registered. So, Bojana, thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and the floor is now yours. So I will just give you space that you share your screen.
Okay, firstly, I'm very honored to be here with you today to address the critical topics on digitalization in the Western Balkans. As Sanja introduced me, I'm Bojana Bajic from Montenegro. I'm in the area of digitalization for almost 33 years, and I recognize that the area is very important for economic growth, for our lives, for anything that we are doing in this life. And regarding that, I focused all my professional life on digital transformation. As we gather here to talk about, to listen to my presentation, to talk about digital transformation, I think that we have to work together, all of us, to increase our digitalization, digital transformation in our area, to see what are the main challenges and to try to solve them as soon as possible. One of the key challenges facing in Western Balkans is the need for greater political commitment and coordination at all levels of government. Digitalization requires concerted efforts from policymakers, industry stakeholders, all of us, to create environment for innovation and investment. If we don't have in our region, in our economies, strong political ownership and collaboration, we risk falling behind in the digital race and missing out on the opportunities that technology presents. Another challenge is also the digital divide that persists in our area, and we have to have all time on our mind that there is the big difference between rural area and remote areas that can often lack basic connectivity infrastructure. Regarding that, we have to concentrate on bridging this divide. Requires targeted investment in digital infrastructure and initiatives to promote digital literacy and skills development among all citizens. Regarding that, we recognize Digital Compass 2030 as maybe the most example in which way we have to go in the Western Balkans. What are the main goals based on that Digital Compass? And based on that, I and my colleagues, we prepared this report to see where we are in the area of those four, if I can say, specific dimension of the digitalization.
Bojana, just to interrupt you for the moment, you don't share the slides.
No, I will share later.
Okay,
I just wanted to provide my introducing speech, and I wanted to say, for me, the most important sentence during today's presentation. Despite all these challenges that I will present in my presentation, I'm optimistic about the future of the digitalization in the Western Balkans. We have a young and dynamic population that is eager to embrace technology and drive change. We have vibrant tech communities and innovative startups that are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and we have the opportunity to learn from experience between us. You will see in the presentation and later in the report where we are the best in our region. Also, we have possibility to use international support from international partners who have helped us on similar digitalization journey. In conclusion, for the beginning, I think that it is our unique opportunity to transform our society, empower our citizens, and unlock new economic opportunities for the Western Balkans. Regarding that, the Digital Decade Policy Program with concrete targets and objectives for 2023 that guides Europe's digital transformations has to guide Western Balkans in their digital transformation journey. And now I will share my presentation. I will try to be quick as soon as possible. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Now?
Yes.
This is I will try in the next 20-25 minutes to explain what we did in the previous year with our focus to see where we are in the region. In my previous work, I was included in not included in the Western Balkan digital transformation pathway. I was a member of the negotiation team for Chapter 10 Montenegro, cooperate with the European Commission and work on many different issues. And I know how it is complicated, but I think, and again, I repeat that I'm optimistic that we can solve all the challenges that are in front of us. Just a simple slide about our conference that Sanja mentioned. During the conference in Sarajevo, we had the possibility to discuss between each other about the challenges, about the solutions, and some of them are included in this report because the conference was in September. At that time, I prepared just the interim report, and after the conference, I received many good suggestions and proposals, and I think the document is more useful with all data or information included in this after that conference. As I mentioned at the beginning, Europe Digital Decade Program and digital targets for 2030. Those were my goals and my maybe direction for preparing the report, and I focused on those four dimensions: skills, government, infrastructure, and business. Because if we create those pillars, or maybe those are not pillars, those horizontals, very important things on the right way, we maybe will have possibility to achieve all the goals that recognized here. Some of them are for skills, for example, 20 million ICT specialists in the EU to be part of EU and to achieve that number of participants, to have key public services, for example, only 100% that all services has to be online. Also to talk about business and how to use emerging technologies, how to all technologies and innovation can be more used in our business. And also the most important is infrastructure, how to improve infrastructure, how to more use, how to have a good broadband, how to use cloud computing, etc. What is necessary to be developed in the future periods to solve and to support all the digital issues that we have to do in our region and also in the Europe. During the preparation of the report, I had a communication with many colleagues and discussed with many colleagues from the region, but also I used all available information through the internet, through the surveys, and one of them is a Digital Economy and Society Index. And you can see on the picture that what is the situation in the region, Western Balkans, where we are in comparison with the EU, and we can see that some of them has a better position, some of them less, but during the presentation and maybe during the reading the document, you will see how the two economies have a maybe higher range, because some issues that are our recommendation from those documents. Those economies are Serbia and Albania, and they had a really, really great results in many aspects of many area of digital compass, because I think they solved and they did the better organization of monitoring of the digital transformation in their economies, because they had established institutions who are in charge, who are the leaders of the digitalization, and based on that, the result is normally on the end of the story. Based on also United Nations e-government survey, also is possible to be seen. I see maybe some messages, but I cannot see what is written. Something maybe wrong. We see the position of our economies based on United Nations e-government survey, and e-government development rank also recognize Albania and Serbia on the high position in the region. Similar situation is in in data from the World Bank Tech Maturity Index, and the situation in the region is better in comparison with surveys that done before, but also we have to do a lot to achieve the goals from Digital Compass. Just briefly, you can see on the top of the slide what are the goals from the Digital Compass regarding ICT specialists and basic digital skills. And we have different situation in the region, but many policy initiatives are in charge in our economies. All economies recognize the digital skills as the most important part of the digital transformation, but some of them has a better, some of them less results in line with digital skills. Infrastructures, very, very strong and high goals are in front of us, gigabit for everyone, regarding connectivity, regarding cutting edge W share in global production, data edges, 10,000 climate neutral, highly secure edge nodes, and we have as a main goal first computer with quantum acceleration. We are so far, I think, in this area, expect regarding the broadband connectivity, and Serbia has some good progress in the cloud computer using big data, etc. But it is, I think, the part of our activities that includes more awareness, more investments, and more cooperation from foreign partners. Regarding the business, our entrepreneurs and our legal entities use digital tools, but not maybe on the way that can be used. And then what is the reason? It is the different. It depends on their digital skills, their digital needs. But successful pandemic lockdowns is increasingly integrated online sales channels in the Western Balkans, and we have the platform who supports e-invoicing, who support e-commerce. They are developed, but the others can be developed better, and still all companies doesn't have web pages or communication through the web, and I think that this part also has to be much improved in the future period. Government, this is maybe the most complicated and the most visible part of the our digital pathway, because we have the goal 100% services, digital public services has to be online until 2030. Until 2030, the other goal is to that 100% have access to medical records online. And also 80% of citizens have to use digital ID until that period of time. And based on research and on analyzing the information in the region, we can see that Albania is very close to achieve that goal. In this moment, Albania has, I think, more than 95% online digital services. Serbia is also very high ranking in the area of e-government, but the other economies, they are working on digital services, and their impact is really visible, but they have to improve that through the many channels. They have established e-portals, but they have to, some of them, to include and to adopt the new laws who are in line with the EU. Some of the economies have to improve use of electronic identification and trust services. Also, cybersecurity is very important part for government services, because there is no maybe enough trust in the cyberspace. And here there are a lot of things to do. And also all the things that we are doing in that area, in that dimension of digital compass is the most visible, because we have in front of us our users needs EU needs all public services to be published online, and also they're needing pre-filled forms. We have to think about that, and all of those, many of those surveys recognize that as a main issue, how many public services provide their services through pre-filled forms, that principle and only is implemented, and what is more comfortable for end users. I will briefly present digitalization progress across the individual Western Balkan economies through the two dimensions. One dimension is how the EU see the situation in our economies, and through their EU enlargement package that presented in November last year. We see that, for example, when we talk about Albania, they recognize the great success of Albania regarding the public services. 95% is really very high position of their awareness activities, etc. And they did a lot in that area. But Albania also has to have a lot of things regarding the improvement of cybersecurity, regarding the adopting the new laws of identification and trust services, electronic communication, strategic document with the EU Decade program. But what is also important, that Albania signed association agreement with the other three economies joining the Digital Europe program, and it is also the way that our economies to work more closely, to use opportunities from and possibilities from those Digital Europe program, and to increase the digitalization of their economies. In all economies, cybersecurity, data protection are something that we have to be more concerned and think about that, because those are the, we can say, pillar or horizontal issues, but those are the issues. Without them, we cannot publish services, we cannot do anything digitally if we don't have cybersecurity, safe space, and also if we don't believe that our data are really stored on the right way, and that they are saved on the way as law on data security proposed. Sorry.
Bojana, I need to warn you that you have 10 minutes left. So.
Oh, sorry, I will briefly. Also for Albania, those for dimension skills, Albania has prioritized the development of digital skills, and they recognize several different programs such as coding curriculum for 100 schools, etc. Infrastructure also made significant progress in enhancing the digital infrastructure. Albania business development investment strategy has an aim to improve the business environment, attract investment, and also government. I will not recognize, but this is that sentence that recognize why the Albania has a great success, why they are maybe on the top in the Western Balkan economies, because they have, I will not read, we will receive my presentation, but they have a clear management of digital transformation in their economies. From our point of view, it is the crucial. Bosnia and Herzegovina, they are still in the preparation phase, but also there are a great success in many different areas. Not problem, but specific situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina is that there are too many parts of the economy. They have too many entities. They have an institution, for example, for cybersecurity in 3 different entities, and regarding that makes a more complicated situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. But what we recognize in Bosnia and Herzegovina, that they are performing very well in digital skills. They recognize digital skills as very important and with a level above the Western Balkan average. Progress along the Digital Compass 2030, those 4 dimensions: skills, democracy train, specific digital skills indicator with the digital education. Digital education is very important for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina face challenges in achieving comprehensive broadband connectivity. Regarding the business, the digital presence of small business is very much limited, but this is that problem, that only around 60% of small businesses have a web page, indicating a significant position that enterprises lacking an online presence. And this is the way that we have, that the economies have to think more about that. It is not enough if they have only commerce platform. It is possible to have platforms for many their activities, their processes, ERP system, etc. That has to be part of the improvement in the Bosnia and Herzegovina. And there is a little bit, I think, challenges in the area of interoperability. Public administration reform strategic framework recognized that as a very important part. And I think it will not be part of this report, but last week in Bosnia and Herzegovina had organized the first meeting between leaders which are in charge with interoperability. And I think that in that area will be really, really progress in the future. Kosovo also, they are, if I can say, in the beginning process of including to start with you in negotiations, but their readiness in digital transformations, they demonstrate at some level. I can see that they have a lot of good things, especially regarding infrastructure, regarding digital skills. Also, they established the e-portal at Kosovo, and try to include and to use some emerging technologies and to support their SMEs to adopting their practice using the new technologies. Kosovo is, we put on the end of every slide what is, from our point of view, important as an example from those economy. And for Kosovo is really investing in digital infrastructure. we have that 100 citizens have a broadband access in all urban and rural area, and it is the really example how that can be solved in the other areas. Based on all four, those four dimensions: digital skills, infrastructure, business, entrepreneurship has limited adoption of digital technologies, but there are e-commerce platforms. And in Kosovo, strategic framework for digitalization is complex, involving multiple entities, but also they had a great weight of organization and the managing the process of digital transformation. Ministry of Internal Affairs are in charge, the Agency for Information Society, with support from the government chief technology officer. It is very important that there is a chief technology officer. He is in the cabinet of the prime minister, and they have a person, have a leader who monitor and who support all the process of digitalization. And it is the main message from my presentation, that we have to organize, to have a clear leadership. When we have a clear leadership, political will, success will be on the end of the story. Montenegro is in the process of digitalization long. I can talk about that more and more because I was working on that, but Montenegro should prioritize aligning national legislation with the EU acquis. They have to do some changes, but they are working a lot. Montenegro had the problem last year. They had the cyber attack in 2 years ago, actually, in August 2022, and that maybe a little bit postponed their success and their development. But I think that they're working very hard, and the success will be on the end. Regarding the skills, also Montenegro demonstrates strength in overall digital skills, infrastructure. Montenegro is the lead. Western Balkan economies in connectivity are achieving fixed very high capacity network, and also establish a 5G. Montenegro stands out in digital integration. Maybe the problem is also here, but not too big, but also too many legal entities use digitalization, use new tools, but that can be much better, and not only commerce companies, the other also, and organization are also very important. Ministry of Public Administration is the institution which is oversees the process and strategy. 2022-2026 digital transformation strategy recognized all necessary things that has to be done, and also adopted the action plan from the future activities.
Bojana, just to tell you, in principle, you have 5 minutes.
I will briefly. North Macedonia, similar.
And then we want to hear recommendations.
Yeah, I will go faster. North Macedonia also digital transformation readiness is moderate. They have a lot of efforts to improve their digital transformation and the digital activities. They established the portal. Their law has to be adopted and be in line with EU acquis. We recognize the use of AI in Macedonia. Despite that there is no regulation, they are very involved in that, and I appreciate that a lot. And regarding those 4 dimensions, I will not repeat. Similar situation like in Montenegro, for example. Serbia, I was noticed Serbia. They did, I think, also a lot. Serbia and Albania did great improvement of their system. And regarding all area skills, digital infrastructure, business, government, but there is Office for Information Technologies and Electronic Government, and the Public Policy Secretariat for Administrative Simplification. And again, we have a principle that organization and managing of the process is the key of the success. Skills, common challenges I will not present now. This is the common for all. But what are the recommendations? We divide the recommendations in 5 groups. I will not explain any one of them, but we have to have a focus of strategic prioritization and governments. We have, first of all, recognize digitalization as a crucial priority and fully implement in our economies digital by default principle, one and only principle, and ensure that all new technologies will support to we have our processes digitalized. Legal and regulatory framework, I want to notice that all future legal laws, sub-laws, have to be incorporated digitization ready legislation principle. We have to work on all the laws and to have in mind that laws has to propose something that will work digitally. We have laws that make some obstacles in development of digitalization, and it is a big problem. Think about recommendations are inclusive digital infrastructure and services, recommendation regarding infrastructure. We need monitoring and use support. We need monitoring of all our processes all the time, valuable monitoring, and to every maybe period of time that we decide when it will be after half year, 3 months, and it does not matter to have some measurable values where we are in the digitalization. Support for business and IT industries, governments has to support the business, and that will create a new working places, new possibilities for our youth, and collaboration with the European Union, learn from best practice, because we have a lot of best practice in the EU and abroad, but also I want to point that we have a lot of best practice in our region, and we have to learn from each other to think what it is replicable to our economies. Sorry, but I couldn't faster. Thanks a lot.
Sorry, the time was running very much, but we very much enjoy, of course, in this overview. I would like to thank you very much for your excellent presentation, and of course for sharing your insight, your knowledge with us. I also want immediately now to say that the presentation of Bojana, including a policy report, which will be finalized soon, will be available, and we will share all that information with you. We have 8 minutes left. Great. And now I ask you to pose a question to Bojana. You can write either questions in the chat, or you just put up your hand. So please, questions for Bojana. So do I see any questions? Yes. So we have a question from Miroslav. Miroslav, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I wish to thank Policy Answers Project for this great opportunity, but to Bojana as well for excellent presentation and deep understanding of the topic. I must say that I'm positively surprised about certain things, but I would like also to mention something else. We all know our region, and I just went through some data, and I noticed that illiteracy in the region, not digital, but total illiteracy, is very often about few percent. Functional illiteracy is sometimes between 15% and much more. So in that sense, I would like just to mention, it's not a question, it's just a comment, that it seems from this very good report that we are moving very fast in the digitalization of our region. In the same time, it is not followed in the best possible way with our progress on functional literacy and total literacy in the region. So maybe those two things should be mentioned, and trying really to compensate one with another. Thank you.
So, Bojana, you want to comment?
Thank you very much. I like your overview of the situation, and I'm thinking that you are right, because what is the main problem regarding the digital skills? All of us has mobile phones, smartphones, has tablets and something similar, and we think that we have digital skills. Those are not digital skills. It is very important how many of us using some tools, how many of us know to use, for example, Office or some other programs. And especially we are in the period of the year of the era that artificial intelligence and emerging technologies are here. And some curricula regarding the digital skills has to be changed. And regarding that, maybe it is a good idea to make some comparison between that, but I think that we have to focus on digital skills and digital literacy for all level of age of our citizens, because we have an old population, we have a young population, but the old population also needs some digital skills, and we have to propose to them something that can be useful. And I think it's a really great observation from your side, and maybe we can include that in our report, something similar.
So now we have a question from Jovana. Please, Jovana.
Hi to everyone. I'm Jovana from Banja Luka, and regarding skill set for digital era and even industry revolution 5.0, I'm working a lot on these topics, and also I am completely in digital industries, and I had a lot of discussions all over the world about skill set. And when we are speaking about age limitations and actually the level of knowledge, as you mentioned, I would bring something else to the table. We can't expect that someone who is in the middle age and even older to manage digital tools and skills the same way as young people. But what I recognize, not only me, but the group that we are working on this, that we have a set of skills that are very valuable for this digital era, and young people need that. So I don't think that we should be so much focused on proposing new tools to people who are not let's say, capable to have this fast growth in that area. So it shouldn't be the same level of knowledge. It can't be the same level of knowledge, definitely. So maybe we should manage how to introduce all ages to give the best from themselves.
Yes, and because that I mentioned that we have the different curricula for different ages.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
I am in my family have a person who is 90 years old, 91 year old, but she's using tools. She's using internet, she's using YouTube, social networks. She's interested in that, and we try to help her, and we family helped her, and I think we as a society can think about them and prepare some simple curricula to improve them in that world of the digital, because it is an interesting world for them also. But
yes,
we are
of
keeping
course,
them so far from that, and I think this is maybe ethics and human problems, how to increase human capacity in the area of digital skills in the future.
Well, so I was
if we want 100% of electronic services to be published, we have to think that services will use from 10 to 100 years old.
That is my expertise, actually. Yeah. That is the reason why I'm trying just to bring you that it's not possible to be used for every user.
No.
Sometimes you have to be completely honest and say, okay, they won't use it in that way. But it is a very complex topic, actually.
Yes, yes, thank you.
So the time, as I said, is running. We are approaching to the end of the webinar. Nevertheless, I will extend, if you agree, for 3 minutes. I will allow Rosalinda one question, and if you allow me, I will then ask Bojana one question. And I think this is then connected to the question which we received from Erwin. He wrote in chat, and then we will share the last slide with you. And yeah, Rosalinda, please, short question. You are muted, Rosalinda.
Everybody, thank you, Policy Answers, for this opportunity. Thanks, Bojana, for excellent presentations and documents that we are waiting for to read it at all. So I will try to be very short. So now when speaking about the literacy, I would divide the people into 3 groups. One is digital citizens. Digital citizens are the one who should know to protect themselves on the internet and how to use, let's say, digital ethic in the practice. So not, as Miroslav said, functional skills and knowledge, but rather how to behave when they are using the digital tools. The next one is digital users, which we are all there working in the digital transformation. And so I didn't introduce myself, Rosalinda Stoeva from Macedonia, working in digital transformation more than 20 years. And the third group and the last one in this pyramid are the digital authors, who are in fact creators of the tools, of the software solutions, and so on. I think that we should pay attention to digital citizens more in the next forthcoming period, as well as to provide them the motto of not being included afterwards, but not being excluded by design. When you design some solution, not to be excluded any group from the design. So here I will stop and give the floor to Bojana. Thank you.
Just to conclude that what you mentioned before, user-centric design, and it is very important to have in mind when we create anything regarding our citizens. And also we have to custom all our products to different group of the users. We have to have in mind that we have the different groups, and it is something that and Rosalind and me worked together in the previous period, and I hope we will work again, that we have to listen our user to see what are their needs and their inclusion, and also accessibility, interoperability, to help them to solve all their issues, all their problems on one place. Has to be in the future. I mentioned before that we are in the era of using the emerging technologies, and based on that, we have to recognize the digital citizens in the future as more as ever before, because in the close future, many of the services will be digitized, and we have to think about their skills, their possibility to work and to use the services.
Thanks, Bojana. So I will allow now myself to ask last question. So how can policymakers effectively engage and cooperate with successful domestic IT and innovative companies to enhance their involvement in regional digitalization efforts, meaning global digital efforts, ensuring long-term sustainability? And I connect this my question to Erwin's question, because Erwin in chat, he said he is interested in digitalization of process of agriculture. In my opinion,
I will briefly.
Domestic IT companies, innovative companies, and then I think the digital life would be easy in all fields. But I don't know, do you agree with this? And please answer this question.
I didn't read, and I didn't listen last sentence. Sorry, Sanya.
I'm saying that my feeling is that if policymakers make more trust in the domestic IT companies, innovative companies, and do everything to integrate these domestic companies, I think then the digitalization process will go much faster in all directions, including skills. We have so many nice examples of this IT, for example, academies in different economies. And the question was also, Erwin was interested in digitalization of agriculture.
I read the question, but I didn't listen what I have to agree or disagree. Based on my experience, I was working in the digitalization since the period when we have terminals and we have a diskette, etc. And what I see as only one way to digitalize our economies, our region, is to establish, to have first step, to have a political will and to decide that priority is digitalization. Second one is to establish close cooperation between, as did Albania, as Kosovo has, as the Serbia has, but all of them can improve their approach, but to establish close cooperation between the government institution, between the NGOs, between the IT companies, between the universities, between the representatives through the NGO representative from the citizens, to sit together, to listen each other and to develop the system that will be useful for all community. It is the only way. Third part is when we have political will, when we have those kind of group, we have to have a clear roadmap. Will we call that strategy, action plan? It does not matter. We have to have a clear roadmap with the task, with the deadlines, with identifying challenges, and to create, to develop sustainable digital society. It is only one way. And when we talk about agriculture, of course, agriculture is the part of the system. They are using the data of the citizens. We are using the data of the legal entities, data from environment, and the agriculture has to be part of those general digital systems.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Bojana. So we are a little bit delayed, but allow me now to close this session with showing one slide. So at the end, I said I would like first of all to thank Bojana for this great presentation, and thank all of you for attending the event and staying a little bit longer because we exceeded the time limit. But I also use the opportunity to invite you to register to the B2Match platform. We call you Western Balkan platform, where you can network with other experts in your thematic field. You can contact Bojana and continue with the questions, but you can also submit to us your policy papers that we can post and promote on this platform. As mentioned, a comprehensive policy report on digital transformation in the Western Balkans will be available soon and we will post on this platform, including we will post also on the Policy Answer website. I want just a second to go to the next. So I also want to announce the second webinar on March 28th, which will be dedicated to health topic, but health is not also something which decouples from digitalization. And I also invite you to feel free to suggest any interesting topic for a webinar related to policy instruments for alignment. On this web page, you will see an agenda, and we are scheduling webinars for every month. So with this, I once again thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon at some other event. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.